He was meant to watch her, to be a figure of authority, a man of rules and regulations. But he wasn't supposed to fall for her. Not in a place like this, where every glance was monitored and every word was a risk. Samuel was a model prison guard, his record spotless, his demeanor professional. He walked the cold, sterile corridors of the correctional facility with a sense of duty, never letting his personal feelings interfere with his job. He believed in the system, in justice, and in the clear, sharp line that separated right from wrong, guard from inmate. Then, Chloe arrived. She wasn't like the others. There was a quiet strength in her eyes, a defiance that wasn't loud or aggressive, but a deep, simmering fire that refused to be extinguished by the gray walls surrounding her. She was serving time for a crime she didn't commit, a victim of circumstance and betrayal, and that injustice clung to her like a second skin. Samuel saw it from the very first day. He was assigned to her block, and his job was simple: observe, report, maintain order. But observing Chloe was different. He saw more than just an inmate in a standard issue uniform. Saw the way she'd find a sliver of sunlight in the yard and close her eyes. Just for a moment, as if absorbing its warmth could transport her somewhere else. He noticed how she'd share her meager rations with an older, weaker inmate, a small act of kindness in a world that was anything but kind. Their interactions were brief, stolen moments that broke the monotony of prison life. A quiet good morning as he did his rounds. A shared look across the crowded mess hall that said more than words ever could. He would sometimes find a reason to linger near the library when she was there, pretending to check the logbooks while listening to her recommend a book to another inmate. Through these brief glances and hushed, almost whispered conversations, something beautiful and incredibly dangerous began to grow. It was a connection forged in a place designed to break spirits, a fragile flower pushing its way through concrete. For Samuel, Chloe became the one bright spot in a world of shadows. He started to question everything he believed in. He saw the flaws in the system he had sworn to uphold, the humanity that was being stripped away from people like her. He felt a fierce, protective instinct he had never experienced before. He wanted to shield her from the harsh realities of her confinement, to offer her a glimmer of hope. But he was a guard, and she was an inmate. The invisible but ever-present bars between them were a constant reminder of their impossible situation, which the risk was immense. If anyone found out, his career would be over, and her life in prison could become infinitely harder. Yet, the feeling grew undeniable and unstoppable. The day Chloe was finally released was one of the most difficult days of Samuel's life. He watched her walk through the gates, a small bag of belongings in her hand, taking her first steps back into a world that had wronged her. He felt a profound sense of loss, a hollowness in his chest, but also a surge of relief that she was finally free. He knew he couldn't stay. The prison, once a place of order and purpose, now felt like a cage for him too. The hallways echoed with her absence. The next day, Samuel quit his job. He walked away from the only career he had ever known, leaving behind the security and the structure, all for the memory of a woman he barely knew, yet felt he'd known forever. He waited. He didn't know if she would remember him, or if she would even want to. He moved to a new city, got a simple job in construction, and tried to build a new life. But his thoughts were never far from her. He'd often wonder where she was, what she was doing, if she had found happiness and justice. He held on to the hope that their connection was real, that it wasn't just a product of their desperate circumstances. He had no way of contacting her, no way of knowing if their paths would ever cross again. All he could do was wait and hope. Years passed. The memory of her smile and the quiet strength in her eyes never faded. He had almost given up, resigning himself to the idea that their story was just a chapter, a poignant memory in the book of his life. Then one rainy afternoon, as he was leaving a small coffee shop, he saw her. She was standing across the street, looking at a storefront. She had changed. Her hair was longer, she wore a stylish coat instead of a prison uniform, and there was a confidence in her posture that wasn't there before. But it was her. The same eyes, the same quiet intensity. His heart hammered against his ribs. He almost didn't move, frozen by a mix of shock and fear. What if she didn't recognize him? What if she had moved on and wanted nothing to do with her past? A past that included him, but he had to know. He took a deep breath and crossed the street. As he got closer, she turned, and their eyes met. For a moment, time stood still. A flicker of recognition, then surprise, then a slow, beautiful smile spread across her face. Chloe returned, not as a prisoner, not as a number, but as a free woman who never forgot the guard with the kind eyes. She had spent years rebuilding her life, clearing her name, and she had often thought of him, the one person who had shown her compassion when she needed it most. She had hoped to find him one day to thank him. Standing there on that rain-slick city street, the walls and bars of the prison felt a million miles away. All the unspoken words, all the stolen glances, all the quiet hopes from years ago came rushing back, filling the space between them. They were no longer a guard and an inmate, but just a man and a woman who had found an unlikely connection in the most unlikely of places. Their journey had been fraught with obstacles and separation, but in that moment, it was clear that what they had was real and had endured. Can love truly survive bars and judgment? Can a connection forged in whispers and hidden looks withstand the test of time, distance, and the harsh opinions of the world? Their story is a testament to the fact that sometimes the most profound love stories aren't the ones that start with a perfect meeting, but the ones that overcome impossible odds. It proves that the human heart can find light even in the darkest of places, and that true love, once found, will always find its way back. If you were moved by their story, please like this video and subscribe for more tales of love against all odds. Thank you for watching.